is Pastor Dave. We are live in Tattoo tonight. Welcome. Tattoo stands for Tough Answers, Tough Topics Often Overlooked. Every Wednesday night we come together. Another title of our live of Tattoo is The Art of Listening and the Power of Comprehension. Because basically, I would always say listening is an art form. It really is. It's an art form to be able to listen and to comprehend. And typically I would ask the youth, what's the difference between listening and comprehending? You know, listening, I would say this is what you're doing now, but comprehending is pretty much picking up what I'm putting down. Now on this slide, it says every fourth Wednesday, but we've been wanting to do this every Wednesday. Here's some of the good people from South Philadelphia, from the community, and typically we would have pizza and music, having a good time, you know, sharing life principles. Tonight, I also want to honor birthdays. We have Faison Thompson. His birthday was the 20th of July. And Marquand Mims, his birthday is coming up on Monday, I believe, or Sunday, July the 26th. And these individuals have already received a birthday card, a tattoo birthday card at their home address. And so we have a database of those young people who want to have their birthday honored by tattoo and by momentum. We are doing that. So I encourage you that, you know, stay in contact with tattoo. You could actually go to the website, www.momentumcm.org. And on that website, there's a tab, a link called Tattoo. You go there and you'll see pretty much the whole portfolio as it relates to tattoo. And you could send a request. You can sign up and we could have your information and honor your birthday. For as long as tattoo is in existence, we will always honor your birthday, no matter where you are in the city. As long as we have the right information, I will be sending you a birthday card. Also, we want to let you know that the Tattoo app is still live and well. Try to get people to install the Tattoo app on their phone. And how you get it, you text to this number, say, hi, my name is, whatever your name is. And you text that, say, send me the Tattoo app. And the number is 484-655-2994. All right. So once you do that, I will immediately send the app to you. It's free. You install it on your phone. And there's many, many things we're offering to you once you have that installed on your phone. All right. Tonight, we're talking about the 7 ways of well-being. So you delete bad habits and add some new ones. All right. Wellness is very important. There's some of the things that we can do to promote wellness of your mind, soul, body, and spirit, right? So we try to promote that. But here, so there actually is more than 7. You know, I've kind of grown this list over time. So number 1 is to connect. Be a part of something big. You are part of the big picture. So sometimes we may feel like you're not that important, but you really are. And so it is incumbent upon you to stay connected to organizations. I would advocate for staying connected with tattoo. The next thing is to be active. You know, do positive things to stay engaged. Now here I have a couple pictures of a young man who's perhaps part of a panel, doing some debate, some discussions, and there's other things you could do to stay connected, to be active, as opposed to just sitting back and waiting for something to happen. There's a lot of things that you can do. There's some organizations that are giving out food, cleaning up the community, more than just playing basketball or doing something like that. But stay active. You know, if you sit back and you're not involved in doing anything, then sometimes it kind of puts you in a bad way, where kind of, you know, you'd be more inclined to harbor maybe even depression or something like that. But when you're around people, you stay active, you're moving around, you have these endorphins, which are inside of our body that, they call it the feel good gene. And usually those endorphins are released into your bloodstream, and it just causes you to just feel good about yourself. Sort of like going to the gym, you have a good workout, you have a good jog or anything, you're very active. It's kind of the way I used to feel when I leave those tattoo sessions on Wednesday nights when I'm driving away. Man, I felt so good, being able to see the people, interact with the people and hug and touch. It's nothing like it, but that's part of our well-being. So be active, also be activated, and support efforts to abolish hate, crime, and gun violence. My art is covering up gun, the G there. Sorry about that. But there you see a photograph the other week. Our councilman, Kenyatta Johnson, was doing a march in the streets for Peace Not Guns, which is an organization he started years ago, which is to fight against gun violence. And I was able to connect with some people there who were also a part of that same effort. To the left there's a young man, Ant Brown, very talented rapper and artist there in South Philadelphia. He was going to attend this live tonight, but we send up prayers for his son. They're in the hospital now. So our prayers that his son would be okay and that they will be able to come home and recoup and recover. So shout out to you, Ant Brown, and your family. But that's him with the bullhorn in his hand, and then Kenyatta, and just, peaceful protesting to fight again, to abolish hate, crime, and gun violence. The next one is to pay close attention to the world around you. Take notice. Now, what I found out is a lot of people, some, are not really paying attention. Now, the pictures here are really depicting some very important things or topics that you should be paying attention to. The boy on the side, representing science. You're right. There's a lot of science associated with this pandemic and how we should be responding to it. It's not about politics. It's not about, who said what, how, when, and who's, stealing the show or who has the loudest voice. No, we ought to be paying attention to the science and computer science as well, right? So we have that. We have the wearing of masks. Some people feel as though they don't want to wear a mask. They don't think they should. You have some religious organizations, some religious folks that feel like, if we believe God, don't wear a mask. And then some who are just feel like, as American citizens, you can't demand that I wear a mask. I can do whatever I want to do. All right. But you should pay attention to that conversation. And what do you feel about that? Something to discuss, something to be understood. All right. I personally think you should wear a mask where you are told to wear them. Typically in the marketplace, only you have to be around a lot of people until they have a vaccine. This virus is very real. People are losing their lives as a result of it. And they're still determining how long it's pretty much airborne, or the aerosol effect of it, how long that lasts. Someone sneezes, or even who has the virus asymptomatic, if they sneeze or they talk in the atmosphere and droplets of their saliva, what have you, are in the atmosphere, how long that lasts, they still don't know that yet. So there's not a definite on that. There is a definite, however, you could catch the virus from the droplets, which usually, within 3 feet of standing in front of someone, as Dr. Fauci would put it, you could catch. It's contagious that way. But if you put a mask on, and you stay 6 feet apart, you'll be less likely to pick that up from someone who perhaps is affected. but that's something to talk about, right? If you don't want to wear a mask, you feel like, it's protection for you and for me, because some people are infected and they don't know that they are. And so they call them asymptomatic ones. So you don't have any symptoms, but you may have it. And so if you don't wear a mask, you could potentially propagate the pandemic. They're trying to bring the numbers down of those who are infected. But if you don't want to wear a mask and you keep on just talking and doing what you do, you could cause someone else to be infected, and then they could cause someone to be infected. Now, as a young person, you may feel like, well, I'm fine, if I catch it, okay, whatever, I'm going to be okay. And there's a good chance that perhaps you will be okay. But what's going to happen is if you don't get that under check, you'll spread that to someone else, and eventually somebody along those lines. Everyone, this is Amir Campbell. So I asked him to join. When you came on, I was talking about wearing the mask. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like two ways about it. One way is that, like, I mean, for instance, you play football, right? I played football when I was in high school, and and I was raised in the church. But when I got on that field, they said wear a helmet. Don't run full speed into anybody without a helmet on, because you need to protect your head. Now I have that faith to believe that God will heal me if I run into somebody at full speed, like charging to tackle them without a helmet on. But most likely I'm gonna have a concussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, most likely something's gonna happen to my head if I run into somebody full speed without my shoulder pads, my padding, my cleats on, so I won't slide in the grass. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that. Like, yes, you can have your faith and believe that God will heal, but there are things set up just so you can be, precautionary, be cautious about it, and to protect you. So that's what my feelings on that. I just think that, yes, you should, protect yourself. And hey, if your faith is strong enough to where you know that God gonna protect you, then take that risk. I think it's all according to the individual, but I choose to take that. I choose to take the other route.
And the other slide I have here, the other picture, is the virtual learning. That's a Zoom session. You see a lot of people in this particular Zoom session paying attention. It's being woke. It needs, let me see, these 4 areas. This is our new normal.
Like, I know there are current, like, people nowadays who still mail in money orders to pay bills. And what happens is, what I've learned from technology, it allows you, see, technology moves really fast, right? Like, you remember it was AOL, it was dial-up internet, and now we got 5G. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that as technology advances in speed, it shaves a little bit of time off our day. Like, now I don't gotta go buy stamps and envelopes and and go to the post office and mail things. I can if I want to, but I can just open up an app and pay a bill.
Yeah.
And that saved me, half an hour in my day. Now I got a half an hour to work on my business, or develop a business plan, or to learn some music, or do whatever what else I want to do at that time.
Yeah, I think even the virtual learning puts you in a better position to comprehend, because it's kind of hard to get in trouble, right?
No, I think that's an excellent point there. Like that, I really love that point right there, because like I feel like that most students, like, I would say at least about 85% students get bad grades because of that, because they're just trying to entertain their friends.
Yes.
Distracted. I love that you brought that up, because I mean, again, like, now that you're by yourself, like,
Yep.
you forced to learn, like you said. I love that.
Yeah. So you got connect, be active, be activated, take notice, keep learning, and then the next one is give. Give what? Of your time. Time is a valuable commodity, and it says give to others to get a positive return for yourself. And basically that means you reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
You give up your time to people, somebody's going to give time to you. You help somebody's going to help you. So you're building a field, the reciprocity, you're building a field of good years to come, because you were helpful to other people, and you served on maybe to help clean up the community, maybe paint the walls of a rec center, or even some of the things that you do, Amir. Some young people probably could, if they knew you were painting a mirror on some wall somewhere, and I don't know how they could volunteer and help you clean up or get involved, and even as apprentice to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the reciprocity with that.
When the school years start, I'm actually going to go around to the different schools and then see if, because I know some schools now are asking students to do community service projects.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna enroll in Miracle Artistry in their particular program or curriculum, and see if we can get students to come out and work on projects with me. So that way we can serve two purposes. Like they'll get that service aspect of it, the community service aspect, but also learn a trade.
Yes.
Because working on a mural, at a young age, it changes your way of thinking. You get to see that, like, hey, especially for a young artist, you get to see that, being an actual full-time artist is a lucrative job. Not even a job. It's who you are. So it's lucrative.
That's right. So the next slide here is about reading, and I encourage the youth to take time to reading. It increases your vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
It expands your mind to think critically, and that's what reading does. Now remember the 7 ways of well-being. One of these is to pray. Now prayer increases your inner peace and causes you to live a better life, and it grows consciousness. Some people commit suicide or do mean things to themselves because they don't have any inner peace. Talk to God, and sometimes the answers that you get back will calm your heart, will calm you and prevent you from doing some reckless things that people do. But that's another way of well-being. The next one, I talk about rest. I don't know about you, Amir, but I was one of the ones that always prided myself on not needing a lot of sleep. But I changed that tune now, because I realize, because when I teach on sleep deprivation, that our bodies actually heal itself when we sleep. Did you know, you may know this, but did you know that if you get a good, I call it recuperative rest, that your body actually throws out, your mind actually throws out things that are non-important for you to think about. It's a part of your sleep process. It puts it in your memory banks, but sometimes when you get a good rest, you wake up. That's why sometimes you don't remember anything. It takes a while. Certain things you have to intentionally bring back, but your mind, the way God made our bodies, if you get a good recuperative rest, it tries to heal stress in your brain, things that you were thinking about, to help you forget some of those things that should be non-important.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying I totally agree with that. It's like that's when that self-healing begins, like while you're sleeping. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
The next slide is forgive. I talk about, we're talking about 7 ways of well-being. Some people are out of balance sociologically because they don't do these things. And forgiving, when you forgive, you no longer, you don't hold the anger, and you let go. Doing this makes you emotionally free, which is better for you than staying angry. Now, the way it reads says, when you forgive, you no longer hold on to anger, you let it go. Doing this makes you free emotionally, which is better for you than staying angry. Now, when I'm in the rec center with the kids, usually, Amir, I would ask one of the children that stand up. I say, I need some volunteers. And they're like, oh, me. They don't know what I'm going to do. So I'll grab one of the boys' hands, and I say, I'll use him as an example. I say, you represent, I don't know, something you did to me in year 2000. And I'm not forgetting that you did that. So I hold on to their hand, and then I'll take my left hand and I'll grab somebody else. And I'll grab their hand, and I'll be in a very awkward position, because I'll grab somebody's hand who's remote from me, and I'll tell them, you represent something you did to me in 2015, and I'm not forgiving you. And so everybody's looking at me holding on to these two people. Now I try to walk forward, and it's hard for me to move around
Oh, that's
because
good.
I'm holding on to them. And they can see that. And I say, and when I forgive you, when I let them go, I'm free.
That's good. That is awesome right there.
Yeah. And so I use that illustration to say that's what we look like when you hold. Now imagine if you're holding on, that's just two people. Imagine holding on to a whole lot of other, you can't move along in life.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Wow.
now this is where I have a photograph of you here, because part of well-being I added to this lesson is to keep creating. I don't know about you, or I do know about you because I see your work on social media, but during this pandemic, I don't know about you, my creativity has been out the window.
Yes.
I dropped
Yes.
I dropped 4 singles and an album.
Wow.
Well, you heard one of the songs.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, like wow.
But what triggered me to send that to you, because your caption was the title of my song, On My Way.
No way, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Amir, if you could share some of the Amir artistry with the audience.
hmm Yeah. So like so like with a miracle artistry, it's compromise. It's a combination of different areas, like from video, art, music, and it's just like the way I operate is like in seasons. Like I'll have an art season, I'll have a video season, I'll have a music season, like I'll have a mural season, or it'll be a canvas season. Like it all depends on the shift of the times, because everything changes. Um, but yeah, it's just all about, like you said, staying creative,
Yeah,
staying, tapping on what's on the inside, because I feel like that we all were created in the image and likeness, of our Father, that we all have a portion of Him inside of us,
that's right.
and it's our duty, it's our job to take what He has, that what he endowed inside of us, and to actually multiply it and
Yeah,
turn it into something else, and then turn that into something else, and then turn that to something else. And I've kind of lived by the philosophy of whatever your hands find to do it.
yeah,
And then do it as unto the Lord. And the reason how I came up, or how a miracle artistry was formed, is because I tell the story sometimes, but I tell it today. Is when I was born, I was born premature, and upon my arrival, into Earth, one of my lungs collapsed, and I actually died, and the
wow,
doctors had to bring me back to life.
wow.
And I'll spend the first part of my years here on Earth in an incubator,
Mm.
because I was too small to breathe, and I had a collapsed lung. So I was premature with a collapsed lung. So it was like a double whammy, like yeah, like you ain't supposed to be here, but I got you. And then
Wow.
from that moment on, my whole life has been a miracle. Like from that moment on, because it's like like being premature and having a collapsed lung, but still able to make it to like a toddler. It's like wow. So I've kind of had that, like, meditating. That was kind of been like my silent narrative in my brain at all times. Like what drives me to just do everything. Because it's like I could be doing nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
um, and then even with the pandemic, like when you look at the pandemic, like I was just talking to one of my friends about this today. I was saying how so many people didn't make it through the pandemic, and if this is not a wake up call to tap into what's inside of you, because like everything inside of you, like it says, greater is He who is in me than he who's in the world. And I always think about that scripture, uh, because what's inside of you is great.
Yeah,
What's inside of you is genius. What's inside of you is unique. It's a creative aspect, because all of God's creations was created to create.
yeah,
And you may not be an artist, you may be an orator. You may
Yeah,
not be an orator, you may be an engineer. You may not be an engineer, you may be, a dancer. Like whatever it is that you are, you take that and you just magnify it and then multiply it, and then it's going to lead to something else and something else. So that's what a miracle artistry is all about. It's about finding that miracle inside of you and then making an art out of it.
that's awesome, Amir. Uh, and I remember hearing. I didn't know that much of that story of how you were born. I know you had shared you were premature, and your mom named you a miracle.
Hmm.
And do you have how can young people reach out to you? Do you have a email or a link, something that you want to
Yeah,
share?
yes, absolutely. Like if you want to reach me, you can reach me at a miracle artistry on Facebook and Instagram. That's AMIRACLEARTISTRY. And both of them platforms, I am available. And I'm always here. If you got questions on any of the avenues that I'm involved in, uh, you can reach out to me. Amir Campbell on Facebook. Reach out to me. If you know someone that's connected to me, you can ask them, hey, how do I get connected with Amir? And I will gladly reach back out to you. I have several projects coming up too, where I want to invite the youth to come work with me because a lot of avenues and a lot of artistry that I've got involved in is because someone took me under their wing, and showed me things, and then I took it and ran with it, and I would love to do the same thing back to youth. Absolutely.
That's wonderful. So
Hmm.
at the end of this, this this will get published on our YouTube page,
Hmm.
and at that time, I will add the link to what Amir is sharing here, because I believe it's a great opportunity to explore your creativity. And the photo you see there is a lot of the art that he did that's surrounding him. I love that art of Jay-Z. Also, I have some of Amir's art here in my home, and I'm still supporting what you do because you showed probably some other pieces that you have that I will be interested in having in my home. But some of the art I have is from Amir, so he does excellent work. He's a true artist. And not only that, but I've seen you've done some murals in the city.
Yes.
Where are they located?
Yes. So the most recent one I just completed is called Love Bubbles. It's on 226 South Street.
Okay,
Right in the head house district, and that particular the Love Bubbles mural was kind of like speaking to the times about it's a photo, or not even a photo, it's a portrait done in a cartoon style of a young lady, a young girl blowing bubbles, and the bubbles spell out love.
wow,
Because with so much going on, I know, like, with so much going on in the community that's particularly, geared towards, uh, the like our culture, the things that's happening to us. It's like globally, we're still all humans on this planet, and I wanted to speak to that. I wanted to speak to the fact that at the end of the day, the innocence of a child. If everyone had that innocence of a child with no prejudice, then
hmm,
there wouldn't be no killings. It wouldn't be no prejudice against a certain race because of the color of their skin. There wouldn't be nothing that we would have to particularly go through culturally, any culture, if we just
that's
all
right.
possess that innocence of a child towards one another and just loved one another as we love ourselves. So that was kind of like what that spoke to, and I strayed away from my realism style, and went back to drawing it like a cartoon because I used to watch cartoons as a kid. We all did, and as a child, and I wanted to speak to that nature. I wanted to speak to that particular personality inside of every human that walked past it, to remember how you were when you were once a child, when you were innocent. And then when you look at your brother or sister walking down the street that's of a different culture, you'll see them as for who they are, and not what they're wearing or how they act or their differences. You just see them as another human soul created in the image and likeness of the same entity that created you.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's good, man. Amir's got so much going on. One of the things I wanted you to talk about as well. Let me see. Let me bring it up. This young man has created juice,
Yes.
a miracle juice, and I've been seeing you promoting that on social media, and many people have been, you know, supporting you in that.
You know, a miracle juice, like totally, totally wasn't thinking about having a juice brand or a juice company this year. Like it was not on my menu
Mm.
this year. Like it wasn't even on the menu. And what's funny is that what happened was I looked at myself in the mirror one day, and my mindset started changing. Like I started thinking differently about life during the pandemic. Like started thinking differently about just everything. I feel like I went through like an internal transmutation, and I said, you know what? I want to start eating completely healthy, and I started juicing. I started juicing every day. I bought me a juicer and I just started juicing. And what I did was I started researching different fruits and vegetables to see, oh, grapes are anti-aging. If you eat a lot of grapes, it helps you anti-age. Spinach help with cognitive function. And I started looking at all these different fruits and vegetables and looking at the science behind them. And then I said, oh, wow. So if I start taking these fruits and vegetables and I treat it like chemistry versus just blending these different fruits and vegetables together, then maybe I can come up with something that's delicious and help you heal at the same time. So, I started with myself. I started making myself some juices, and they were like honestly, not because I just make them, but literally they were the best juices I ever tasted ever.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow, these juices are so delicious, man. I want to share this with people. I don't want this just for me. I want it for everyone else. And I noticed that when I started juicing and staying away from meat and staying away from processed foods and just juicing, my skin started to clear up. I
Yeah.
started to lose a massive amount of weight. My energy levels were soaring, and I was just like, wow, if I feel like this, how can I get other people to feel like this? So I started doing focus groups. I started making juices and actually, saying, hey, drink this and let me know how it makes you feel. And then people texting me back like, oh my God, I drank, the spinach lemon zinger, and I literally had energy for the whole day. I went to someone's house and I had a spinach lemon zinger. They had just woke up. They were so tired they didn't even want to answer the door. And I said, hey, you know what? I got something for that tiredness. Try this spinach lemon zinger. I literally saw them after they took the first sip perk up like oh my God, I
Wow.
don't know where the energy came from. And I'm just like, wow, like my research wasn't in vain.
No.
Let me start bottling these up and let me, like I don't know what I'm gonna call them, but let me just bottle them up. And then I literally heard something in my mind say a miracle juice because it's a miracle. It was a miracle how she got all that energy after the first sip. It
That
was a miracle how someone told me they were sneezing and had a cold, and I gave them the cucumber bliss, and it was going the next day.
that 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 is amazing, and I support you in that too, Amir. I will be reaching out to you. I want to taste that juice. Um, let everyone know that again, Amir is very. I told you the brother's very talented. So all of that we're talking about the being creative and staying creative. And lastly, I have a James Baldwin quote here. Children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. And that is so true. So, what it encourages us to be an example,
Hmm.
be an example because people are going to follow those examples. It's not enough for me to say it, I have to do it too.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that totally. Mm-mm-mm.
and that's our session. Amir, thank you for jumping on at late notice. I had someone else scheduled. These live tattoos sessions, I tried to now host someone that can, along with what we have here, speak to some of the youth and inspire them in ways that are insurmountable. And
Oh, absolutely.
you are a prime example of what we're talking about.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm really honored and humbled, to have to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you so much. Tattoo for life.